In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we're all más o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one. Not because we're better than you, but because our movies certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore. We'll simultaneously we normally complain about the stupid movies that are coming out today, but I gotta say, and I know I've been a naysayer about this Acolyte show. I loved it. I loved episode 3. It was so good. I've been complaining about it this whole time. This episode won me over, so I put on my favorite Star Wars shirt, and I'm here. I'm here to talk about how good. I'm here to talk about how good episode 3 of the Acolyte was. I was wrong this whole time, guys.
Well,
wow.
TechMax, the only reason you like it is because it supports your politics.
Are you
no.
a lesbian?
No. No. How dare you? Wow, you think that I'm so small-minded that I would sycophantically like a show to the point where I'm gaslighting myself into thinking that it's good simply because it upholds the same values that I uphold? Shame on you. There are plenty of reasons to like the Acolyte. Sorry, something came up there. The acting is so good. I love this show.
The child acting, especially.
Oh my gosh.
That was Zimani.
I have to play devil's advocate today because I promised Alex Green a good Star Wars fight, and unfortunately Bearded can't make it today.
Oh, bummer.
No, but I'm actually curious. I'm curious to see if he's still slightly defending it or not. But we'll talk about it next week. Also, other Jared isn't going to be here, but we will have a spirited conversation hopefully next week when we talk about the finale of Doctor Who, because oh boy, this week's was pretty bad.
So I've seen, yeah.
And it also doesn't make a lot of sense because they're calling this season 1 like it's supposed to be a reboot, and they're straight up telling fans of the show, screw off, go touch grass if you don't like it. They're catering to a completely new audience, and alienating the core Doctor Who audience. And at the same time, this season, the first half of the season finale that came out this week is so full of references from like old Who before the reboot that any new person watching the show, I am so confused. I have no idea how they will understand anything that's going on. And also, even if you are a fan, an old Who fan, and you're watching this, it still doesn't make sense because it completely contradicts the old lore.
So it references it but contradicts it at the same time.
Like, they brought in an old villain, and I haven't seen. I actually haven't seen the episode, so I need to go watch it. But it's the Zutek or whatever his name is, the guy from the Pyramids of Mars. It's the 4-part, I believe, Tom Baker.
The water.
It's like
Tom Baker.
No.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Tom Baker, and it's a 4-part episode of the Pyramids of Mars, and it's this like ancient god, and that's the villain. That's the surprise, and nothing happened this episode. It's literally 45. No, it's 40. It's almost an hour of literally nothing happening, only to reveal at the end, hey, the villain is a guy that you already know. After this whole season has been like, Doctor Who's about magic now instead of science. I don't understand.
I thought you were talking about Rings of Power with we spent an hour, nothing happened, and then at the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But anyway, we can complain about Doctor Who. It almost dropped below 2 million this week. It was at 2 million,
hang on there,
2 million, 2.01.
There are 20,000 TV sets. The other thing that's important to talk about with Doctor Who rating numbers is it's very similar to ESPN numbers, where there is a very real floor to what it can achieve just because there are a certain number of TVs in bars and airports.
Yeah, they'll just get automatic plays. Well, that's why CNN was propped up for so long, because it was played in every airport.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm actually curious if, one of these days somebody needs to do the study and just BBC One needs to just play a blank screen for an hour,
and see how many ratings it gets.
Yeah, because I bet you there's 500,000 TVs in the British Isles that are just on BBC One all the time with nobody watching.
No.
I think that should be a requirement. I think all stations should just play static for an hour every week or something, and they have to report their viewership numbers. I think that should be a requirement for cable these days.
Sorry, I cut my own hair, and I just noticed I've got like a little. Oh no, I don't know if I nicked it and made a little, or I need to fix it. It's hard cutting your own hair. How's Lady B doing, Alex? She's currently watching House of the Dragon, right?
Yes, and she is a world-renowned Game of Thrones fan and a world-renowned House of the Dragon Season 1 hater.
Yeah, I was like, she hated Season 1, which makes no sense to me.
Huh.
There are many things that I love about my fiance.
Has she read all the books?
She read the books, right?
Oh my!
She's a fan of the books
Oh
or the
my
TV
God.
show?
Both. She read the books before they were cool. She
Yeah.
That explains.
I'm reading Fire and Blood right now. I'm almost done. I'm well past any point that they're going to get to in season 2, because it takes, what was it, 15 hours before the TV season, before season 1 even starts. And it's like a 25-hour book, and I was like, this is really good stuff. When does the TV show start? 15 hours later, I'm like, oh, the TV show just started, and then literally 2 hours later it was over. It's like, okay, wow, we made a whole season of TV from 2 hours of textbook information. So I'm well past any point they'll get to in season 2. And it's really, really good. And I said this a while ago. I know this will piss Lady B off. So far, I haven't finished it yet. I like reading Fire and Blood more than the Silmarillion.
I don't think that's going to piss her off. I don't think that's going to make her mad at all.
I think the Silmarillion's great. I loved reading it. It's kind of hard to get into. It's a lot more. It feels like you're reading the Bible, right?
That's a great way of putting it. And
Fire and Blood. It's a very good comparison. Fire and Blood is basically the same thing. The Silmarillion is to Lord of the Rings. Fire and Blood is to Game of Thrones. It's just a textbook, but it's a lot more readable. Like it's.
Well, I think
I
part of
don't
that
find
is that-
myself drifting off and, oh, shoot, I got to go back. I wasn't paying attention, you know?
Yeah, I think part of that is, Fire and Blood was always meant to be released.
That's true.
You know.
Yes.
The Silmarillion was,
Yeah.
hey, we found some notebooks upstairs that
Yeah.
Dad was
No
working
shade on Tolkien. It was released. Was that released posthumously? Posthumously?
posthumously, yes.
Yeah. No. Like this wasn't supposed to be a book. It's just we love him so much that we wanted more of it, and more power to you. You know, and half of it's written by his son. Well, not written, but like compiled and edited.
Yep.
Adding some words in between, right?
Yep.
No shade on Tolkien. I liked it, but I'm really enjoying Fire Blood, and I'm excited for season 2. And it should open with really good stuff. Season. I mean, if it follows the book, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be crazy. And so we thank you for watching this show instead of House of the Dragon right now, because it's all I want to be doing.
Yeah.
But what are we supposed to do? Change our entire programming just because HBO likes to release on Sundays? I say nay. So get ready to talk about Star Wars, baby, because I'm a sycophant today. These are, I actually really like these. They're pretty cool, but they are technically from the Obi-Wan TV show.
Wow.
But they're pretty cool. It was a gift. I didn't buy them. It was a really nice, thoughtful gift. And hey, they're pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
Little Legos. It was fun to build.
Nice.
They're little pop figures, but they're Legos.
Yeah.
Cute. It's cute. But yes, technically, I have memorabilia from the Obi-Wan TV show.
Hey, not the worst thing that Star Wars has put out. It's bad, but it's far from the worst.
I mean, yeah, I think Acolyte is worse, sure.
I think Acolyte is
You're
bottom,
right. You're right.
bottom of the crumb barrel, and right along there with Boba Fett. Those are the two worst ones.
But that's like debating the difference between Wheel of Time and Rings of Power.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
And I've said this before, I think on a technical level, if you ignore the story, I think the Wheel of Time TV show is better than Rings of Power, but it does way more damage to the source material. So I hate it more.
Yeah, but it's like classifying different types of
Not by much. I think they're both technically horrible, but I think that Rings of Power, Wheel of Time tried to tell a story, and I don't know what Rings of Power was doing.
And at least the actors were competent, right?
Trying.
I
They were trying.
wasn't cringing throughout the whole thing.
No, they were not trying.
I don't know. Perrin never closed his mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, true, but
Matt Cawthon has now gone 2 seasons in one outfit.
Yeah, that was my opinion before season 2, though. With season 2,
but that's
season 2 is so much worse
yeah,
in every way than
that's
season
a problem
1.
with the acting, though. That's a problem with the screenwriting and the costuming. I think that the performances for what they were given, the
Sure.
actors themselves seem pretty competent. Whereas Rings of Power, it's like, how are these people employed as actors? Because, wow.
Oh, sorry, I completely ignored your super chat. Thanks so much for the $1.99, Mark Clark. Did I learn nothing from Mexi's self-help haircuts? No, I've been cutting my hair practically my whole life. Ever since I moved out of the house, I've cut my own hair, and I'm usually pretty good at it. But I did it quickly last night, and I just noticed a mistake I need to fix. I'll fix it in 2 seconds after the stream.
Me too, but you
just
your
buzz
degree of
everything?
difficulty is much higher than mine.
It's not perfect, but like I get a pretty good I go real.
Yeah, you fade
I
it. pretty
fade up.
decently.
I can't hear anything you're saying right now. But I go from like 0 to I blend it pretty well up the sides, and then I do scissors, hand cut on top, so I can have somewhat of a part.
Well, that's
Yeah, I think I do a pretty dang good job.
That's really hard to do scissors on yourself.
I have 2 mirrors, so I have a mirror that I nailed to the back of my bathroom that I hang up and angle down so that I can see the back of my head. It's I got set up, man.
Wow.
I don't even have that many mirrors in my home, I guess. I think I have one. Oh, yeah, one in each bathroom. So yeah, we're good.
But yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready to debate Star Wars. I will
Yep.
play. I will play Devil's Advocate today.
I
And,
caught up, man. I binged all 3 episodes, and I've got
Holy
I've got notes.
I also binge all 3 episodes, and I don't have notes because I was ranting at the screen. So I remember everything I ran to.
It was bad.
I've
That's
been,
like my hyper what did you call it, photographic memory, but it's only for things that I hate.
So,
yeah. I know I probably should have had episode 3 out by now. I haven't. I've been procrastinating a little bit, but my family's been in town. They just left, so I should be able to get work done now.
You did
But I
do a
felt
couple
bad
of-
every time they were like, "Oh, I want to play games." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to hang out with you. I should probably get work done." But so
Okay.
Yeah.
So unironically, if we're talking about the Acolyte season 3,
yeah,
Yeah, episode 3.
it's hilarious.
the
really
witches
fun.
of Dathomar, or the what? Not the witches of
Not
Dathomar.
Dathomar.
Whatever
Right.
these witches are unironically are written like a conservative wet dream. Like if you ignore the identity stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like if we
I was thinking about the same thing.
like if we look at it like on the basis of education, the witches are like, yes,
I don't want the
it is
government coming in here and telling me what to do.
it is totally normally correct to homeschool my children with a religious focus, and her children are way more advanced than any child we've seen educated.
Then any public school's gonna get them.
Yes, and then the government shows up and goes, yes, I need to take.
And the
your
government
children."
tries to take away your guns, right? It tries to tell you, no, only we can own guns. You can't own the force by yourself.
Yep, but I mean,
And-
even funnier,
yeah.
they're like, we're going to take your kids away and put them in the exact same classroom where they sit and do nothing.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting here like,
Not
Do you
only
think
that,
this-
but it has almost like a homophobic. Like if you see like that, it almost like a T-phobic, homophobic. In a sense for them, because
Yes.
it's like, oh, you're good how you are. You were born this way, and you need to accept it, and you need to do your duties because you were born in this way. You're a woman, basically, you're a woman. You have to do that. And then basically, it was if you think that that woman was a man, basically, it was a patriarchal society where he or she or whatever, it was the leader, and she was like, "Shut up! I make the decision here. This is my home," and I was saying, "Base."
Yeah, right?
Before we get too into it, Mark Luck, thank you again. $1.99. I have mastered the flobby. I don't know if that's a reference to something.
I think it's like a haircut.
Lobby is your haircut.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was called a flobby.
Me
Does
neither.
the flobby mean something special, or is it just a name for a haircut?
The Floby is like the kind of haircut you have.
The flobby? Oh, well, it's a sexy haircut, so thank you.
Yeah, I need to get me one of those.
Yeah, it's funny, and this kind of happens a lot. Like the left accidentally writes a lot of.
Yeah,
They unintentionally write themselves into corners like that.
it
Yeah.
happens a
Like,
lot.
oh, oops.
Pro-life. They accidentally write pro-life messages all the time.
Yeah, what was the last show we talked about where they did that? It was
I don't remember.
Oh, well, I mean, were we talking about that with The Last of Us? Or no, it was a different show. I can't remember.
The
It was
last
definitely not Belma, so
Yeah, I don't remember.
was it Rings? No,
But yeah, this.
I don't remember.
Yeah, do we have anything else good to say about about the show before we move on? Or interesting anecdotes before we tear it to pieces?
No, it's
Maybe laugh a lot.
I did think, not so much in this episode, but so I didn't give my thoughts on the previous 2 episodes. One thing that is a positive is they're showing more aliens than in previous shows, like Andor. There was not a whole lot of aliens. And
right, but that's a problem that Disney made themselves, right?
Exactly.
They're correcting their own mistake.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I think for the most part, aside from the green chick,
Oh gosh, Leslie
of the-
Headland's
most
wife.
of the aliens, yeah, most of the aliens look pretty good. Other than that, I don't have anything good to say about this show. It's
I was actually thinking
so bad.
badly about the aliens. I was like, oh, they just adding random aliens and things like that.
I thought Darth Martha looked all right. The female Darth Maul. I'm not even,
Right.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah,
species.
I mean her
Far
yeah,
Good.
her design. I mean her acting is horrible, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Who, the
Yeah,
Acolyte woman?
Yeah, the
Maya?
one with the horns on her head, she's a Zarbak. The same race as Darth Maul, but
The Acolyte's mom. That was supposed to. Yes, and that was another one that I kept looking at. It's like, oh, no wonder these children are so miserably behaved. That's the strict parent. They don't have a dad to keep them in line.
I know that's literally what I said. They were saying, "Oh, why would you ever want to leave? I have everything I need here." I'm like, except the father.
well,
And then the father
what's also
figure
funny is she's the only one that has a biological connection to the girls. Like the black lesbian didn't use her DNA to create the girls. She used the Force and probably mixed it with the white chick's DNA, and yet they both came out black. You know,
We have no idea how that works. Yeah, so should we get into that?
they do not look like her children. They shouldn't. They do. Should they have like half horns?
Dude.
I don't know. I don't know how genetics work
She's
in
an alien?
in
I
Star
thought
Wars.
I
They
thought
don't
she
even-
was-
Can we break out those little tables? The what are they called? The where you choose like eye color and like which are the dominant traits?
Yeah.
The squares.
Yeah, those squares. The squares. You did them in like high school and stuff. Let's break out the squares. But I need to know those squares for Star Wars races
the gene?
because we had a similar question with the Ahsoka that I did not watch
Well,
with like her kid.
unironically, this is very much the argument of. I thought you were going to say she looks like a mother. They don't look like Mother Anasea, which was my comment. Like, Disney, do you think all black people look the same? Because these kids do not look like the mom at all.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
They kind of do.
I don't know how
kinda do.
that genetics is supposed to work. There have been other hybrid race children in Star Wars before, mostly in the animated series, and they do look like a mix of the races. Like you can interbreed Twi'leks and humans, and some of them come up with the little head tail things, and some of them don't. But they always have like splotches of skin color that's in between their parents, like an alien vitiligo. We were
Also, Forsaken in the chat, I can see what you typed, but I'm pretty sure YouTube automatically censored you because it's not showing up on YouTube. But it's showing up in our third party, and I'm not reading that out loud.
That's
That's already
hilarious.
off.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Okay. So
Yeah,
let's
I don't know.
let's get into this because
Yeah.
obviously there's issues both with what's happening and how they're completely destroying Star Wars canon, right?
What do you mean? They're destroying Star Wars canon? They're expanding on what's been already set apart in the prequels.
Let me ask you this:
How
Have
is this
you
any
ever-
different?
Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah, where do you think Darth Plagueis got the idea for creating life with the Force?
Yeah.
Obviously, space lesbians.
Except for yeah, I was thinking maybe he was working for, like they were working for Darth Plagueis or something, right?
I'm sorry,
Except for
if
they're
your
all-
argument is just going to be bigoted, I'm just going to dismiss it automatically, okay?
And the other issue is the Jedi were not supposed to know anything about this. This is supposed to be a Sith thing, but apparently, they just reveal the fact to all the Jedi that are there. Oh yeah, they didn't have a father. We made them with the Force. Like, what the freaking crap?
Mark, stop. It's worse. It's worse because
Ouch.
it's perpetuating a stereotype with black people as well.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because
Oh my gosh! Thank you
the
for
guy
the 199, Mark.
yeah, the woman comes up to them and he's like, "Where's the father?" And she's like, "There's no father,
There was no
honey." I'm
father.
like,
He left for cigarettes and never came back.
"There's no
There,
fa-
there was
there's no
never there was
father,
never a
honey."
father. It was a one-night stand. I never expected him to stay.
Oh boy.
I'll be honest. I actually thought you were going to be you talking about a different black stereotype, which is the black people taking credit for inventing things that other races did.
There's that too. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they
yeah,
had-
that makes the most. Yeah. But so another thing, this episode made no sense.
look!
Okay.
Don't fall into the trap, though. This episode is a trap.
Sure.
They're literally setting YouTubers up to be like, oh, this episode's retarded, but you're just getting mad at obviously May's the bad guy because she's trying to do all this, and like they're clearly going to set people up to tear this episode apart, and then the next episode's going to be like, but you idiot YouTubers, you didn't know that the Jedi are from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, right?
The Jedi are going to be the ones that really started the fire, right? They didn't show May starting the fire. He just lit the notebook on fire, and then all of a sudden the place was on fire, right?
They're like they want people to react to this episode so they can come back later and say, "Look at you idiots."
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter that she threatened to kill her sister and that she totally would have.
She said that scene was so bad. What are you gonna do about it? I don't know. I'll kill you. I need you in my life so badly. You can't leave. Well, how are you gonna make me stay? Murder.
So
I genuinely, I mean, we all know that Torben set the fire, right? Like that. There's one white guy in the show. Obviously, he did the bad thing.
Yeah,
like,
and he offed himself because of the guilt. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's not gonna be Chewbacca, okay?
I think there's gonna be a double twist, though. I think that the mom, the horny mom, is gonna be. I think she's Smilo Ren.
No,
because the witches were all dead, like in a circle. They didn't look like their bodies were chopped up by lightsabers. Lightsabers. I think she poisoned everybody with the tree because there's foreshadowing. Oh, and it's only poisonous if you eat. I think she poisoned everybody, and she's secretly trying to. I don't know. It's gonna be retarded. They're literally gonna do no, Luke. No, Osha, I am your mother. Even though Robot Chicken did that, like
and it's
20 years ago.
Even more brainless because what is the
It was
reason
Agatha all along.
It's our back mom all along. Yeah.
What was the reason for?
Yeah. See, for a second, agrees with me. The white mom is the Sith, and Osha is the one that started the fire or something. I don't know. Well, we know Osha didn't start the fire, but
Well, yeah, we know that because they said, "Mother's dead. What did you do? What did you do?" It's like, that was such stupid dialogue. If you say, "Where is mother?" You say, "Mother's dead." You don't. Obviously, they didn't do anything because they're asking you, "Hey, where's mother?"
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't kill her. I didn't start the fire. She didn't start the fire. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Also, the entire palace is made from stone.
Yeah. Right.
It's burning down.
Yeah. Again, yeah.
In metal.
That's
Stone
a good
and
point.
metal,
Last
like,
episode, they were like, "Oh, you stupid people! There could be a fire in space because this is Star Wars." We understand how fire works. Yeah, apparently not. You still don't understand how fire works.
One of my favorite things is, you need three things for fire: heat, fuel, and oxygen.
So far, we've had one without oxygen, and now we've had one without fuel.
If we get a cold fire...
Yes, please! Please!
It's a magical force fire, but not the force.
We got Corwin in the chat. I'm out of town. I can't join. My thoughts on the series so far. The Acolyte is hot garbage that is waiting in a bin in summer for 2 weeks because I forgot to put it out on the curb last night. Yes.
Yeah. So, can we talk
Absolutely
about how stupid the thorough narrative of this show is, right? So it begins with...
Are there 6 or 8 episodes?
I don't
8.
know. I don't
8?
care.
Oh,
8.
gross. Okay.
Gosh. There's more episodes in this than they gave to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was
And
wasn't it?
about 4 times as much money.
Yeah, that's insane.
This show cost twice as much as Revenge of the Sith.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For reals. Well, not okay, a little bit less than twice as much.
That's insane. Okay, so I want to talk about this, right?
Does this show no. Does this show look better than Revenge of the Sith?
No. No, Revenge of the Sith was the best of the prequels.
Okay, continue.
Okay. We good?
We have 5 episodes left, Corwin.
Yeah, we're only 3 episodes in. So the show opens with, okay, this OSHA chick, she's been studying in a group that studies the Force outside of the Jedi. And she's risking herself by revealing herself, right? Because she's studying.
Wait, which one is it? Is OSHA the good one or the bad one? I thought OSHA was the good one.
You're right.
May is the bad one.
Okay, right.
I never thought I would say this before, but OSHA is good.
See, I'm sure that was on purpose too. You know.
Oh man. Okay.
You're wrong.
Yeah. See, just
You're just a bigot if you think this show sucks. Okay, come at me with real arguments.
okay. So I'm sorry, not OSHA. May is risking her life by coming out and showing herself.
Yeah, the text says, "Oh, she's a secret assassin. She's so good at her job, and but she finally found out that there's someone she can get revenge on, and so she's going to risk everything, her identity by attacking this Jedi." Yes,
right. And so it says that she's
and she walks out in a bright purple outfit, completely conspicuously. Yes.
So she's training with a group that studies the Force outside of the Jedi. Right?
I didn't come up with Smilo Ren, by the way. That's what the internet has called her, and it's perfect.
That is good.
Her boss.
So, at the start of her journey with this stupid flashback series, she's training with a bunch of witches that aren't Night Sisters.
Uh-huh.
They're some other kind of witches, apparently. But they're also another group that's studying the Force, but it's not the Force. Outside of the Jedi.
Gee, I wonder who
they say
the other group could be.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just super confusing. They're saying, "Oh, we're not allowed to be here. We're being hunted." And it doesn't explain why aren't they allowed to.
No. It's worse, David. So the group of space lesbians they've been hunted down by the Jedi ever since they ritualistically created the girls, because it used so much space force that the Jedi sensed it, and they've been hunting them down. And now they know that the Jedi are here and are looking for them, and they think. Do you remember the line from this episode, David?
Which one?
They say, "Oh, the Jedi are here looking for us," and then there's one line where they say, "Have you seen them?" "No, I'm sure that they probably definitely left and they're not here anymore." Okay, and then they start the ritual. "We've been pursued by the Jedi for years ever since we did this.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to do this ritual ever, the ritual that caused the Jedi, who, even if they have left, are probably still close by. We are finally able to perform the ritual that made the Jedi suspicious of us again for the first time in years. And the Jedi are right next to us."
Yeah.
I guess.
Why not wait like a week?
Can we? I want to take a step back. I actually want to read the opening crawl.
Yeah, sure.
Because I want you guys to flash back to 1999 for a minute.
Phantom Menace.
Or even
that was 1999, right?
I was just in the Wayback Machine.
Okay,
the year
sure.
is not before Disney.
Sorry, I thought you picked that.
Oh no, it was 100 years before the rise of the Empire, it is a time of peace. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. In 1995, let's say, before the prequels, that would have had you running through a wall. You would have been so excited.
That's great. That's an awesome setup.
Yeah, like, and none of us read that and went, "This is going to be anything other than complete dog shit."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how do you ruin that as a premise? Like, that's an incredible premise.
Well, because we know from the prequels that there isn't supposed to be any Sith working right now, right? So they can't call them Sith. They have to be a dark acolyte, right? But it's supposed to be a time when they don't know the dark side is being used, right? They don't know that there's evil out there. They're prospering, they're doing their Jedi stuff, and they don't know anything about this. So it's like, I don't understand why they keep doing this, writing themselves into a corner and saying, "Oh, look, we're going to be so smart. We're going to do this thing, and it's going to be this twist that you never thought was going to happen." And it just, what are they thinking?
Because they don't care about the storytelling. Storytelling is not important to these people. They are activists.
They think they are. They think they're
right.
Great storyline.
Because they think. Look, have you ever met someone who's so stupid that they didn't know that they were stupid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's the problem. The reason why these people, they think they're good storytellers because their parents have never told them no a single day in their lives. They've gotten participation trophies and they've never ever been spanked. Okay? And they live in California inside a bubble. They've never left their apartments. They don't know how the real world works. They think they're good writers because everyone has told them that they're good writers. But when they sit down and put pen to paper, their intention is, hey, how can I create a cool, engaging, intricate story? When they put pen to paper, they think, how can I tell conservatives they're wrong? And then they pat themselves on the back. Oh, yeah, space lesbians. Oh man, that's so clever. I'm so good. Wow. I'm doing this is the best. They think that it's good writing.
Yeah.
And that's why they're bad writers. Because writing isn't important to them, the message is.
Yep.
And Disney hires these people because that's what's important to them. It's social Marxism. It is by design. They don't care about making money. They don't care about making good television. They want to indoctrinate the youth and inundate them with media that tells them that this is the new normal. Remember that?
Yep. During
COVID, the new normal? That was language that was chosen specifically for a reason. They're giving you no other choice. Disney's buying up everything. BlackRock is buying up all the houses so that you think that this is what real life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that they're not making money because that's not what matters to them. They are indoctrinating a new generation of youths to think that this is what life is really like.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
You crushed it. I find it.
Sorry to get political. It's not my fault.
Well, at some point, it is ridiculous to pretend otherwise.
Right.
I mean, to use some of their language. All art is political. Yeah, we fucking
Star Wars has always been political. Yeah, but it was good before.
Which I actually think at some point somebody needs to point out, hey, we will take moderate left-wing politics at this point. Shit. If you want to throw in two shitty lines about how bad people are because the environment is shit, you know what? I watched a fucking Doctor Who reboots. I can put up with a couple snide lines about,
Yeah.
oh, the carbon is choking the planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up and fight the Daleks.
Yeah, perfect example. The recent Batman movie, right? I thought that was a fantastic movie. I thought
And
it
it
was
has
really, really
and
fun.
it has that horrible line of dialogue
Good
where
line, yeah.
Catwoman is just completely unlikable, and she says, "Oh, you're a rich white man and you're evil."
Yeah, said all the problems that we're experiencing here are because of rich white men who don't give a crap about us.
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
the movie was still good, except for the
Yeah.
ending was dumb. But
It was like an hour too long,
yeah,
but
I liked it.
Yeah, it was still fun. Aside from that one part, you know.
And
What
also,
made it
and there's
awesome.
an argument to be made. The movie isn't trying to say that that's the message. That's what the
Right.
character thinks.
Right.
That's fine, and you could tell. Yeah, I mean, maybe there were a couple of writers patting themselves on the back. Oh, I got that line in there. Yeah. But like, the movie isn't telling you that.
Right.
yeah, that's fine.
It gets a little preachy at the end. Oh, incels are you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I
4chan,
can ignore-
4chan are terrorists.
right? I can ignore a dumb woman's opinion. I do it all the time. Like,
Why do you think he's in the doghouse, not watching House of the Dragon with his fiance?
Oh, good.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I can actually hear Bearded now. You know, I don't see race in Star Wars. Like, okay, let's pretend for a moment that that's true. Leslie Headland does.
Yes, yeah. She said,
Okay,
so.
the people making this show do. Her decision to leave white dudes out of it is very much a conscious choice. God,
Because she said it was yeah.
him last week was just driving me to freaking. I pulled it. You saw it. I pulled it. Freaking distraction. You know, it's not about race.
No.
Oh, maybe not to you. To her, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Bearded though. So I don't blame people who. Look, I think Bearded is honest with his opinion, and I think that he's wrong, and that's why I like having him on the show. Because and it's the same thing. Like, I don't blame people who've fallen for the lie. I blame the people who are lying.
Yes, Mark.
And
Bill
I guess-
Bearded is from California, just like I used to be.
Okay, but like
I'm technically from California too, and I hate it.
True. Yeah, so you were born there.
But I guess you know part of why I messaged you is I actually want to drill down a little bit into this. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
okay, the character design of May.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the bad one.
Your dark side assassins and bad guys and enforcers previously have been Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Count Dooku, General Grievous.
Yeah,
You know, in the
Kylo
Disney
Ren.
era.
Sure.
And even Kylo Ren, if you cut it off at like the 15-minute mark.
Massage
TFA
Ventress.
Shut up. It's not real.
Hey,
Um,
I tried watching the Clone Wars, and I hated it. Okay.
But okay, all of those characters look intimidating,
Yes. Yeah.
and the part that I'm trying to figure out is the majority of
Hit me
human
with
beings-
your best shot. Come on, hit me with your best shot. Do I intimidate you? Do I intimidate you? Is that what I'm
Little
doing?
bit. A little bit, you come to any Mexican like that, you know what? The gringo loco.
Strike me down, and I shall become more insufferable than you could possibly imagine.
But I guess the part that I want to ask is normal human beings, especially men, when they see a stranger or somebody that they're
Right.
just not familiar with,
Right.
there's a subconscious thought in the back of their head that is, how dangerous is this person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you watch something like The Acolyte, and the enemy is a 5'3", 115-pound kind of chunkin'
Yeah.
looking chick, like, how does this person is not dangerous light not go on in the back of your brain,
Yeah.
such that
Well,
when
that's
they
kind of what
immediately-
I mean. That's kind of what Carrie-Anne Moss does. She just completely dismisses this idiot because she's not a threat.
Yes, and what I want to ask him is, what is going on in your mind that when you identify somebody as not a threat, that the show immediately tries to show you that they are intimidating and actually a threat, that it doesn't cause the kind of like cognitive dissonance
It's
that
gaslighting.
shatters your immersion of
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
What is, like, does
Look,
your brain not contemplate the threat? Do you just do you suppress the thought that
It's social programming. It's what I put in one of my Doctor Who videos. The scene from 1984. It's telling you that 1 + 1 = 3, and then doing it so much until you believe it.
okay, but
It's like your eyes are telling you, no, 1 + 1 is 2. Everyone knows that. No. Well, what if it's not? But what if it's not? They insist that it's not. And Disney knows this. Like, to your point about the intimidation factor, Disney knows this. I mean, look at Kylo Ren. Say what you will about the prequels. The reason why he wears the mask, he was kind of intimidating the first time you see him, and then he takes off his mask and he becomes, and you see, he's just like this weird, emotional, scared kid. That's kind of an interesting premise. They didn't do anything interesting with the character.
Yeah.
But, like, they know, you have to look intimidating. He puts on the mask to look intimidating and then pulls it off, and he's just this emotional, like, that could have been really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's why they have her pulling up her COVID scarf in every scene, so she looks more intimidating, but it just makes her look stupid.
Well, no, she does that to hide her identity. It's
know.
dumber.
And it's so effective because she's just a completely different character when she puts that mask.
My favorite scene from episode 1 is when she introduces Carrie-Anne Moss. Who are you? You! I definitely didn't recognize you from those dreadlocks. I don't see race.
Right.
I was thinking about that as well. I was like, okay, that is just brain dead. And are you
Like,
blind?
she isn't already the most conspicuous person on that planet in a bar full of aliens. She's the one that looks alien. And you're telling me you didn't recognize her?
Especially since we know that she's had the same haircut since she was
Right.
8.
It's not her face that's recognizable. Her face has changed. Because when she was a kid, she wasn't an identical twin. And now that she's an adult, she is an identical twin. It's her hair is the only constant. That's the only reason that Carrie-Anne Moss could have recognized her character. But it's the mask that does it.
Yeah.
Mark Clark made a comment here, and I don't know if he know. I'm going to put that in the private.
Is it? But Filoni will say he's being facetious here. Is that one?
No.
Oh.
No, the
last one.
the one in the bottom.
Oh. Sure. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know how much more I want to say about this episode. It was completely ridiculous. The writing was off. Oh, okay. One more thing. What the hell were they trying to say with their whole chant of the power of one, the power of two, the power of many? What?
Communism.
Can someone explain that to me?
Okay. Yeah, it was you didn't hear all the lyrics. It was the power of one, the power of two, the power of the means of production.
Okay. So Do you remember in Wheel of Time when the tagline at the beginning and the end was to be a woman is to always be alone and never
Yes.
be alone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Right.
is to be forever. No, yes, is to be forever alone and never.
Yes.
Something
Okay.
like that.
I have a hard time explaining this to men because what I'm about to say verbally doesn't make sense, and
Yeah.
you listen to words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Women don't believe in the meaning of words. They
Sure.
believe in the
feeling.
vibe of
Yeah.
the word.
They believe in the feeling of words. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Per capita. Okay.
Yes.
Women are more emotional than men, and their brains. Okay, I'm going to sound really misogynistic. No, but on average, look, we are literally wired differently. Men lean to more logical, cognitive analysis of their environment, and women lean towards more emotional analysis of their environment.
Yes. So
Now, I'm not saying that women don't use their brains. I'm saying when we're analyzing our input, our receptors, men think about it with their brains, and women think about it with their emotions.
yeah. So what you're
This is scientifically proven. Okay, go on.
Gotcha.
what you're witnessing is when somebody writes this stuff for women, it doesn't even have to make sense literally. It can just sound like we are
Yes.
together and unified, sort of vaguely,
Okay.
and the vibe just takes over. And it's like,
so
yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. Is it seems like they're trying to imply that you're stronger together, right? We're stronger when we're unified and all on the same front, and whatever the crap, crazy. freaking-
Except for May when she's by herself.
Exactly, right? But they literally demonstrate in that scene. Oh, let's face off one-on-one, and she's stronger. Okay, now there's two against one.
Well,
and she's still
duh!
stronger than the two. So it's like what they're even trying to say.
Yeah, but they were.
doesn't
She
make
was
sense.
less stronger. They were trying to say that together you're stronger. I guess I don't know.
But she still beat them. The one beat the two.
Yeah, and then OSHA beat her.
well,
Sorry, May beat her. So
Leslie Hedman literally answered this in an interview, and the answer was, "Well, the Jedi are the power of many." End quote. That was the explanation.
what does that
Okay,
mean?
So they're saying that they are standing alone against. They're standing alone together against the Jedi, who are many.
No, but the witches are saying that the power of many is good because the whole point of the ritual was finally tonight you will experience the power of many.
Alan,
don't
what
know.
do you want me to tell you, my guy? I can only tell you what Leslie Hedlund answered in the interview. Like,
The point is, they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I'm a fairly good retard translator, and even I don't have an answer for you here.
Yeah. You are notorious for your retard translation. David's got excellent gaydar, and you've got great translation skills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of data, you guys did see the trans
Yes.
witch cultist, right?
Yes. It's not even a cult of lesbians anymore. Yeah. One of them that was a man.
Yeah, see, that's
But I don't-
the Zarbag doesn't want to tell her significant other that she didn't really create them. I created them. Well, yeah.
Oh!
And then she's the one that burns down the whole thing. And
Yeah,
She
I'm
got
not
impregnated in
feminist
prison.
here, but I think that horn lady from Oakland that looks like she has body modifications. It probably works in a donut shop in there in Oakland. Yeah, that lady should have more agency because she's the one that burned them. A little
Right.
bit. A little bit.
Well, I think I see it, and I disagree there. I think that the show is doing a really good job of accurately displaying the power dynamics and sometimes domestic abuse that happens in lesbian households. So,
Right.
they are really abusive. Like I don't understand it. Like I thought because
Yes.
they were ladies, they would
No.
behave like ladies, but they don't.
They have the most domestic abuse of any demographic.
The domestic abuse stats for lesbians are wild. Like
It's like 9 out of 10.
it makes the trans suicide rate look low. Like
I think it's because it's because when men are abusive, typically it's physical abuse, right? But when women are abusive, it's emotional abuse, like we've been talking about, right? But
when
in a heterosexual relationship, the men just put up with it,
well, I mean, it's even wilder.
but the
than
women
that.
don't.
I mean, women like lesbian. The stats on physical abuse for lesbian relationships,
Right,
are
right. But
insane.
it's because they get fed up with the emotional abuse
Yeah,
that it turns
They
physical.
don't know how to like release it in a healthy way, I guess. Like I never felt that I was ever emotionally abused like by a woman. Like whenever I had an ex tell me something horrific, I was like, who cares? Like, I've suffered through like, through actual tragedy in my life, so I'm not gonna break down because you call me, I don't know, fat or something like that, like, you fat bitch. And she starts crying. If you tell it joking, if you say to a woman, you fat bitch, she starts crying
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
or gets really angry. And if you tell that to a man, the man is gonna say, I gotta hit the gym, something like that. I gotta get a diet, I have to stop eating so much carbs.
Right. It's by design. Women are supposed to be more emotional, and that's why they're better with kids. Every child needs to grow up in a household with a man and a woman. It's okay. It's okay that when men and women are different, and that's why I married a woman. I did not want to marry a man. Okay. My favorite
the only
thing.
reason, huh?
I can't remember which comedian it was. I want to say Norm Macdonald, but I'm probably wrong. But it was like, my favorite thing about women is that they're different. That's why I married one.
Yep. I mean, honestly, it's hard. Like when you're talking about the Acolyte, you almost just like have to pick an aspect of filmmaking,
Yeah.
and you just you rip it apart, and then you almost have to move on to the new one because trying to go like chronologically, it's incoherent. Going by characters, it's incoherent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even think that
Okay,
they have
so
to be a
I think the
different
best
direction
discussion
for
we could have is how we think this show is going to end. Because
Yes.
to me, it's pretty obvious that May is just misunderstood. The Jedi are evil. I think everyone except for Squid Game is going to be guilty. I think they're going to realize, oh, Squid Game, you were actually trying to help us.
because you are Asian and not white.
But he's going to die self-sacrificing,
Historically, yeah.
right, to help the girls. And then the girls are going to team up against Milo Ren, who's going to be their mother.
Yeah, I'm
Milo
with you on
Ren,
everything
Milo
except for the
Ren.
last one. That's still up in the air. I would not be surprised if that's the way it went, but I think 100% that's the way the show is going with
Wait, is she telling you about the game, about the Game of Thrones? Is she telling you it's trash? I want to hear if it's
He's getting
trash.
House of the Dragons updates.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to hear if it's trash.
Look,
I
do we?
would love to make fun of it. I
Do
don't
we
know.
get-
Like,
I'm assuming we get blood and cheese, right?
Her exact question was, "How the hell do you make blood and cheese boring?"
Oh no!
Oh,
No!
no.
Okay, I'm taking that with a grain of salt because it's coming from Lady B. But
No, but I understand what she's because the first episode or the second, I don't remember, or first season, it was kind of boring, slow. Until
But
they
Blood
go
and
to
Cheese
the
is great.
house and they boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, you're right. The it's gonna be
Blood and cheese is what's going to happen in the first episode of House of the Dragon. It is. I don't want to spoil it,
It's a cheese made of.
but
dragon
it is the Team Black's response to their son getting eaten by
Oh,
a
such
dragon.
scene.
Valarion, yeah.
Yeah, which kid was?
No, it was not
Is it
Valarion.
Aegon? Aegon with the no, Aegon's the one who's king. What's the
Yeah,
the eye
no,
patch kid's name?
no.
Aemon.
Daemon.
Daemon, no, Daemon.
It's their
Daemon is on the blacks. Aemon is on the green.
Aemon.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
Aemon.
their response to Aemon chomping little baby strong.
Yep.
So the chapter is called Son for a Son, and I believe the episode is also called A Son for a Son.
Okay.
So you can infer what
Yep.
might be happening this episode.
They're gonna inseminate.
And apparently it's boring.
All right, let's hurry and talk about Doctor Pooh because I want to go
Okay.
and
I'm
watch.
heading
No
out,
one's
guys.
watched it. Have you? No one. I'm the only one who's watched
Watched it.
Doctor Who.
No.
I know. So tell us how crappy it was.
It's terrible. Nothing happened. It
Okay,
was
good.
45 minutes of people staring into a time window.
Fuck.
And then an Egyptian god shows up at the end. That's literally all that happened. Oh, sorry. They spent 20 minutes introducing us to the team at Unit. And and it's just a bunch of diverse people. And there's a 14-year-old midget super genius, and he talks with a lisp, and you
Whoa.
can't understand anything he's saying.
That's not okay though. You can't hire little people anymore.
Yeah,
Unless you're Peter Dinklage.
right.
That is not allowed.
No offense to the kid. I don't know how old the actor is. I couldn't understand a single line of his dialogue.
That's
I'm
crazy.
all for creating unique characters, right? If that's how you want to do your inclusion, sometimes a character with a quirk is interesting. But if your quirk is, if you're an actor and your quirk is, I physically can't talk, maybe choose a different vocation. I feel bad for the guy, okay?
Yikes.
I wish him a happy life. But I don't know why he was in this episode. Oh, sorry. I do know why he was in the episode. We all know why. He's riding around on a Segway the whole time. It's pretty funny.
At some point, where do you go from here if you're Russell T Davies? Like, you can't go any further to the left than he's already gone. Like,
Yeah.
what is your plan if the BBC comes and says, I want to do 2 more seasons of this?
They've already filmed 1 more season, and that might not even air.
Wow.
He admitted in an interview, someone asked him about season 3, and he said, well, nothing past season 1 is actually greenlit.
So, yeah,
It literally might
Yikes.
become a Batgirl.
There's no way.
The viewership is awful.
I'm aware that the viewership is awful, but
Yeah. So, yeah. That's another.
It'll probably air.
There.
but-
Yeah. I would imagine they would probably air it if they. Yeah. Anyway,
It's Disney, though. Like, they're committed to it.
but
unironically, do you remember the episode of Community where they go to the Doctor Who convention and Pierce gets picked for the focus group and
And he tries to make... Yes. It's prophetic.
okay, but like I want that version. I want the version.
It would be better. It would be better than this, yes.
yes.
It's like,
Well,
it needs more women. Right? It needs more sexy girls in bikinis. It needs more...
It's all
What was
because
their
of
version
people
of Doctor
like
Who
that
called? It
guy
was
Apu or
Inspector
whatever.
Inspector
his name is.
Space Time.
Inspector
Inspector Space Time.
Right.
They wanted to do an American version of Inspector Space Time. Such a good.
Uh,
Community is so good.
But let's just be honest. The reason why Doctor Who is really bad right now is because people like Apu Navir or whatever his name was in that show. That guy, the acoustic guy.
Abed.
Yeah, because people
Uh,
like that will complain about things like women in bikini or all of that.
Guys like Abed are not complaining about women in bikinis. The people
All
like
right.
Leslie Headland are complaining about women
True,
in
true,
bikinis.
true, true.
yeah.
But she puts a man. Do you see the most necessary shot of the show where they just show the guy without a
Yes.
shirt on?
Yes.
Yeah, it was so random. He was
and
in
then
the
they
middle of a
immediately
living room.
sexualize him. Yeah.
Yeah, in front of the girl too. That was really weird. In front of
Yeah,
his
she's like,
parent.
the actress is
Who
like
was it,
18
12?
in real life too, which means she was probably underage when this was filmed.
Yes,
Which show was this?
exactly.
The
It was
Acolyte.
really weird.
The
was really
girl
weird, like-
Padawan.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I have to specify
Oh,
because
right.
there was a different Padawan in the episode one, in the first episode, who
Right.
just completely disappears from the season. The second one,
The one that they walk in on
the
the
one
other
who
guy.
the one who was in Logan,
Yeah.
playing little baby, Weapon X.
23.
X-23.
Oh yeah.
She is the one who's constantly putting the Black Jedi in his place
Despite the
and
fact
telling
that the Black,
he's an idiot.
despite the fact that the Black Jedi is consistently right about everything.
His plan was way better than hers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put this completely inexperienced. Whatever.
All right. Oh yeah,
But
I
don't
was
worry-
gonna play Clash, but tournament, but because the server got overpopulated or whatever, it just
Yeah.
crashed, and I got automatically disqualified or something like that. So I guess I'm not playing tonight. Yeah.
But don't worry, because it's Father's Day, and what every father wants is a copy of the Acolyte music.
The power of two.
Yes.
Oh my god, what do the comments look like on this?
Is it real? Yeah. There's some. Gotta be careful scrolling through Twitter.
I'd
right
rather
now.
my
There's a lot of
children listen to Yoko Ono. That was funny.
Yeah. So there's that one. I don't want to talk about Doctor Who right now. So let's just do news and just call it.
Yeah.
David, you sent me this one, and I hope you know the full details of it. But Bluey is gay now?
Yeah, apparently. So this was actually a while ago. My kids haven't seen season 3 because we don't have Disney Plus anymore. So
Right.
Thankfully we only have the first 2 seasons
Right.
on DVD.
This is a complete lie, David.
Is it really?
Yes, it's a complete lie.
Oh,
One of the little girls, one of the little characters, calls her mom mums because that's slang in Australia.
Yeah.
Even in parts of Europe, it's my mums.
Me moms. No, this
She
ain't
says
me moms.
she says my mums told me so.
It's me moms.
Rose Tyler calls her mums sometimes.
yeah.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
and the LGBTPs jumped on it and saying, "Wow, it's so wonderful! We finally that's the only thing Bluey was missing was
Gay.
indoctrination." No, it's stupid. It's not.
That's hilarious. And
You don't see her. You don't see her parents at all. It's just one throwaway line where she says, "Hey, my mom's told me this."
wow.
And what's more embarrassing is the person who spread the lie is from Australia, and she knows that that's what they call their moms in Australia.
Huh.
Anyway, it's stupid. Did you guys see this?
What is the joke? Women will post something like this and then wonder why every civilization and religion has put limits on what they're allowed to say and do in the history of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the new Lord of the Rings animated show.
Hey, we got a new person on the show. Yeah. For some reason, those reviews keep getting more people watching them. They got nothing when I first released them, but out of all of my videos, I consistently like every week get someone new commenting on my review of the Ender series. I love the book, so keep reading. And
Okay.
welcome to the live show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
starving. Jesus Christ. Freaking diet, man.
So this is what War of the Rohirrim is going to look like. It's being made by a Japanese animation studio.
Looking good.
no.
It looks okay.
To the Rings of Power people.
I have heard. I should have brought up the other tweet though. It might be garbage. The people they. I'm trying to remember the context, but they're kind of getting lambasted too. I think this art style looks good.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I'm interested. I am worried though because the creator said, "Oh, we were looking at all these characters in the War of Rohirrim, and there was one female character who was unnamed because she's not important to the story, right?" and we thought that was so interesting, so we made her the main character because who is this person that we know nothing about?
Huh.
I mean,
Maybe she has no name
literally-
because she's not important to the story that you're telling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally Rings of Power all over again.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, who's it going to be about? Elendil? Isildur? Well, actually, Isildur's unnamed sister actually has more dialogue than Isildur. Are you guys fucking me? Like,
Yeah.
shoot. I used my one.
I think The Boys is gross. I think it's a very gross show, and it's season 1 was fine, but like it's just supposed to, it's edgy for the sake of being edgy, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like they're constantly trying to recreate the Red Wedding by seeing, hey, what other gross thing can we put on screen? And the entire time, the show has always just been making fun of conservatives, and they claim, oh no, we're lambasting both sides. They're not. They're literally just criticizing the right, and it's dumb. It's a dumb show. So I don't watch The Boys.
Okay, Mark. What was the disgusting sex act in the first 2 episodes that they put in there intentionally to make you go, ew, and have people talking on the internet about it? I haven't watched it, but I know it's there. I've done no research into this. I just know that's Seth Rogen's work. So, what was it? Was it in the first episode or the second episode? Because I know it was in one of those 2.
I've seen people complaining about it. I think it's in episode 2 or 3.
Okay. But yeah, and the most fascinating thing about The Boys at the moment
I can tell you what it is. Do you want to know what it is? Oh, it's the duplicate. Yeah, it's a guy human centipeding himself.
Oh gosh.
Right. Seth Rogen, everybody.
No, thank you.
It's duplicate. He can make copies of himself, and yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Oh yeah, nasty stuff.
I just
Okay. Without even having seen it, I knew it was in there just because Seth Rogen is the worst person on earth. But the most fascinating thing about The Boys' dialogue so far is the fans have broken the producers of that show in the sense that the producers of that show got so angry that people on the right weren't getting mad at them and like yelling at them
because we don't care.
Yes, exactly.
Because we watched it and decided, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna. I don't need to be made fun of.
Or
when we get mad, we just like we tune out. We stop watching.
Yeah, unless you're destroying a franchise that we love, like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Doctor Who or fill in the blank. But if you're making your own thing, if we don't like it, we're not going to watch it.
Yeah. But it also, I think, goes to show, God forbid Tim Allen makes the most milquetoast comment about a leftist. They go thermonuclear. Whereas
Right? Yeah.
the right has been putting up with our favorite celebrities slamming our political opinions forever. Like, oh,
And the-
you made fun of us in a TV show.
Great.
Great. Must be a day that ends in Y. But this seems to have driven them, the producers of the show, so insane that they're actually like they're trying to make it even more obvious. Like, no, you dummies, you don't get it. We're making fun of you.
No,
And the rest
we
like,
got it.
No, we got it. It just wasn't clever or funny. Like,
Well, you better. Well, we're gonna make fun of you more.
yeah. And it's like, well, we're making fun of Trump as Homelander. Like,
No, we got it. Yeah, we know.
you made Donald Trump the most powerful man in the world, like an unstoppable ubermensch of a creature. Like, this isn't the insult you think it is, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. There's a whole bunch of Star Wars articles. Even Forbes is saying it's bad, which so it's probably bad. I don't want to read that one. The defense of the show on Twitter is pretty cringy. Oh, it's so cool. I brought this up when I didn't know that I was going to be playing this part, so we don't have to read it. But like, oh yeah, no, we're going to read this one. I forgot. Yeah, can someone tell me why the scene was so cringe? They're pulling power from the moons overhead, and they did it in a chant. People do this exact thing in real life. Ever been to church? Clearly, you haven't.
Right.
Ever heard grown men do a chant at a sporting event? Because that's completely the same.
Yeah.
This scene was cool.
When grown men do chants at a sporting event, they're not having an orgy. Right?
Right?
Oh, Mexa, I forgot to ask you. Did you love the part in this scene where they did the Mexican like
Yeah.
did you catch that part?
I'm laughing. I yeah, I couldn't take it. I literally paused the episode to laugh. Like,
In your review, when you review, bro, you need to have one of them with just a sombrero.
I'm gonna put it on in that scene.
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, maybe I do a video about it. But next week, when the next episode comes out,
I really want to know where this person used to go to church, because if I can get money powers, like,
If we could get power from the moon, everyone would be going to church, man.
right?
I love how they're
Salty, are you
they're
for
trying to
real? That was
pretend.
some practical
A
magic.
lot of the people are saying like, "Oh no, this isn't the Force. The thread is a different thing." It's like you're like, "What? Of course, it's the
Literally
Force."
says some people call it the Force.
I love, and in her defense, she literally quotes Palpatine. Right? She says, "Some people call our dark magic." Call our magic a dark magic just because we do things that are unnatural. You're like, so like dark magic?
What cracks me up is I feel like Disney didn't get all of its shills on the same page, because I've seen plenty of people also
Yeah.
making the argument of, well, everybody calls God different things. It would only make sense that different religions call the Force different things, which, like, is not a terrible argument in and of itself, but you can't also make it unfathomably cringe at the same time and expect me to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yes,
CBR. God damn.
I hate strong women. That's why I married one. So, my wife wears the pants. Okay.
I can attest.
I like it. That's how I get excited. Okay. You sent me this one. I didn't read it because I didn't want to, David.
Yeah, it's basically just the thing.
Oh, it doesn't make any. I hate. This is the argument too. This is their straw man Everyone's like, you're complaining that it doesn't make Anakin less special. No one's used the word special. We don't think that Anakin is special. He's the bad guy. We think that he's unique because Star Wars said he was.
Right.
It was a unique situation. He was a failed science experiment. Palpatine and Plagueis were trying to create life with the Force, and they failed. And because they messed with it so bad, the Force, immaculate conception,
Anakin.
No, what's his mom's name? Chawi or whatever.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Shmi Skywalker.
Shmi, there you go.
Shmi.
Didn't Anakin blow up the Death Star? Yeah, he did. He's a bad guy. That's why Star Wars has never been about good and evil.
That comment cracks me up so much.
I also like this picture really emphasizes my point about appearances. Like, you know, them in the background looking like goobers and him looking like,
I know.
Intimidating?
Intimidating, maybe is the word you're looking for there?
Yeah, a tall 80th percentile facial symmetry, good hair, good face.
And meanwhile, we're supposed to be scared of these people with mops on their heads?
Yep.
Yep.
She
Schmigal.
does kung fu
Shimgal.
with the Force, bro.
I'm dyslexic. I literally read that Smeagol. I said Schmiegel.
Well, his second comment is Schmiegel.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay,
Correct.
maybe. I read it correctly.
Yeah.
The Rick James cosplay. I gotta move on. I know, like they're like, oh, Anakin was never special. Like we don't care. We didn't think he was special.
Yeah. It does break canon that
Completely.
these random witch coven figured out the secret before Plagueis.
Well, Plagueis didn't even figure it out.
Yeah.
He failed. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many people unsubscribing from Disney Plus. I thought that was hilarious. We can move on. Ha ha ha! So funny. Have you guys seen the ratings? Worse than the holiday special.
Yep.
It was at 26 last week, and because of episode 3, it dropped to 15%. And of course, we're getting review bombing, blah blah blah.
I don't know why Disney decided that this chuckle fuck is shoot, that was my second one. I'm sorry.
That's
I owe
your
you,
third.
I owe you, no, okay. I owe you 2 super chats then. That this guy is going to be the one that they are pushing out.
I know he's obviously getting paid.
Yeah.
Like this argument is so farcical. Like a positive review bomb has not and never will happen for any movie or show because the people who are enjoying the movie show are actually watching it and have actual lives. That's been my argument for why review bombing isn't a thing. He's taking my argument, but it doesn't make sense because it's a liberal saying it. yes.
Like conservatives are the ones with jobs.
Yeah.
We're the ones that are too busy to review bomb shows.
Yes.
True that.
David, have you left a negative review on The Acolyte
I
on
have
Rotten
not
Tomatoes?
I have not.
Have you, Alex?
Get around to it. I have a point. I never review a show until the entire series is over. The entire season. I did not. I held off reviewing Rings of Power until the whole season was over.
I have only ever reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time because I hated it with a burning passion and was just looking for every avenue I could to share that.
But you watched the show.
Yes.
Right.
And Rings of Power because I was so mad that they were deleting reviews that I decided to do my own.
Me too. Only done that for Rings of Power for that, and I did it for She-Hulk because it was the same time frame.
But this doesn't even make sense. These are the kinds of people who spend their entire lives on the internet. What do you mean they don't have time to positively review bomb? Like we haven't seen evidence of it time and time again. Like this tweet
It's
trying to
literally
gaslight you into thinking that the show is good.
I guess let's take a step back. People follow incentives.
Right.
What is the incentive for people who don't like a show to review it? Like a 2-second, you feel a little bit better because you vented some frustration out, versus what is the incentive for Disney to positively review bomb a show? To convince everybody that looks at the Rotten Tomatoes that it's good. Positive review bombing has a way higher incentive structure and way more resources to do it.
It works. Usually works.
And we saw that going back to Rings of Power with the super fans again, right?
This show is certified fresh.
They hired a whole bunch of people to say, "Oh yes, we love the show. This is amazing." And then after it airs, they're like, "Oh yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I'll get around to it."
Well,
like, what the crap are you like?
I mean, to take it even further, anybody can go on Rotten Tomatoes and just start clicking the 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
and 99%
they're nonsense.
of them are going to be from an account that has never reviewed another show.
Yeah. I'm sure a little bit of that is happening on the negative side too, but I did go and I read some of the reviews, and all of the negative ones are like long,
they explain why they gave the review, right?
The positive reviews are almost copy and pasted, like it's like bots,
Yeah, I mean, if you start clicking on negative reviews, a lot of the time it's going to be woke dog. I use my swear.
Yeah. Mark Clark covered you for the last two.
Oh,
so
thank you
so much. The $1.99. We should have a swear jar on the show.
Oh, we should.
I've
often wondered what it would take to become an actual legit critic, because I think we need a lot more critics that can, show up on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever other thing. And
it doesn't matter because
they remove you.
That's the thing. Like I couldn't even finish watching Ahsoka. I'm not going to go and leave a review about it. I hated it. It was stupid, and I stopped watching. If you stop watching a TV show, maybe 40% of the people are going to go and leave a review. But if you watched the whole thing to the end and then you'll go, "Oh, I love this," who's more likely to leave a real review? Positive reviewing. It has not even with TV or movies. It has historically always had a positive bias.
Yeah. The only incentive is when you get really angry.
You go to a restaurant, right? And as you're checking out, they say, "Oh, hit the 5 stars," right?
Yeah.
And we'll give you a free sandwich.
Yeah.
After you do it 10 times.
Yeah, the only time you get bad reviews is if something is just really, really terrible.
Yeah, and it makes you angry because it's like when you go to a restaurant and you order something and they bring you a plate of caca and you're like, "Why did you bring me poo-poo?" Right?
Right.
And it's the present thing. You get angry,
now,
you leave a negative review, even if you don't finish the food, or even if you didn't start the food, right?
To steelman it, the argument against this is going to be it defeats itself, because word of mouth is more effective than reviews, right? Absolutely. And one like it's always been a thing in business that an angry customer is more detrimental to your business than one happy customer, right? Because they'll tell everybody about their bad experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's word of mouth. Like that's different. No one even cares about these reviews. No one pulls up these reviews and reads them, except for me, because I'm crazy. But if you watch a TV show and then you go talk about it and you're like, "Hey, this show's garbage, don't watch it." I know lots of people who are like, "Oh, I was going to, but now I won't because you told me not to," because they trust my opinion, right? Yeah. Word of mouth is a different thing than critic reviews. And yes, a bad word of mouth is horrible for your business. And that's what the Star Wars is experiencing right now.
That's what
Their word of mouth, their reputation is in the trash.
Yeah.
Because they've repeatedly abused their customers.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean,
not even China wants them anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, we talk about how, I mean, the majority of this conversation revolves around like people. But I mean, the majority of the tweets or the majority of the stuff on Rotten Tomatoes isn't from real people. It's from bots. I mean, we've seen this over and over and over again. I mean, people talk about Ashley Madison, where at the end of Ashley Madison, 98% of the conversations that were happening were between two bots, and the other 1.9999% were happening between a person and a bot. Like, that's what Rotten Tomatoes is at this point.
I thought this comment was really funny because this girl's been saying a lot of stupid things on Twitter recently. She's trying to gaslight everyone into thinking that
She likes Star Wars.
That she was like, well, this is actually the second tweet. I should have brought both of them up, right? She's saying like, oh, this is the wrong one. The people who bullied me for liking Star Wars in elementary school. It connected to her last tweet. She wasn't saying the normies were bullying her. She was saying the Star Wars community rejected her. There's not a single Star Wars nerd alive that would have kicked a woman out of their fandom.
Yeah.
They would have been ecstatic.
Yeah.
To have a woman come in and say, oh, you know who Chewbacca is? They would have they all would have tried to hit on her first.
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
Like or either that or they would have been too scared to say anything, right? Like the fact that a woman would come in and like our thing, no one is going to push them away from that.
I bet
we're getting that now because we've seen women come in and destroy the thing that we love, tell us that the Force is female, and then simultaneously say, no, the Force is for everyone. Yeah, but it always was for everyone, and you're ruining it for everyone.
I think she's a OF model. You can check her page. Probably,
yeah, she
is. Sounds like
the word you're looking for.
I was curious. I went and did a deep dive and looked at all of her replies. No one's bullying her. It's just that she posted on Twitter, I liked the Acolyte, and people said, I didn't like it. It's garbage. That's not bullying.
Yeah, it's the tone. Remember, women only care about the tone.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, the women only care about the tone, right?
Yes.
See, it was salty. It was salty telling all the women to leave Star Wars.
I have never in my life I'm going to say 5 fattest married women that I know all are married to huge Star Wars dorks. Like, and I know that's purely anecdotal, but I know we have all seen, you're in a space, you walk into a group, there's 5 guys and a morbidly obese chick with black, greasy hair. Like, trust me, nobody is kicking a women out of Star Wars. It's patently absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Back to the whole bait thing, where I'm positive this episode is to get people pissed off so that we can show you how stupid you are later. It's funny because Disparu pointed this out, that the actual episode guide for season 3 says that OSHA started the fire, or May started the fire.
Well, I mean,
so they're gonna come back and try and gaslight you after this.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those.
That's obviously what they want you to believe in this episode, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It used to be the bare minimum requirement for being able to tell a show was to communicate to the audience what is happening in your show.
Right.
Like, I mean, if we can't even do that, boys, what the hell are we doing here? Sure.
Yeah, look, if a woman came into Star Wars, we'd be like, so are you going to dress up? Are you going to cosplay? Like, please do.
Yep.
Yes, that Martina girl to echo what Salty is saying. You're not what I am referring to.
Oh yeah, no. Alex wasn't calling Martina fat. Oh,
No.
I'm so sorry. No.
Yeah, no, not even vaguely in the vicinity.
I mean, David is a pretty big Star Wars nerd. If you want us to call you fat, we can, Martina, but we weren't.
I don't know that.
I mean, you're
don't
thinner
volunteer
than
me for
David.
stuff.
I also saw this, and I thought it was interesting because it's what I've been saying for years. That J.J. Abrams is more to blame than Rian Johnson for Luke's character in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
So more people are saying it. Look, you don't have to be happy with what Rian Johnson said, but it was J.J. Abrams that wrote him into a corner saying, hey, for some reason Luke isn't helping people, and he's on an island and isolated himself.
Literally 0 people would have complained if Luke showed up in TLJ and immediately just started wrecking people.
Yeah.
0 people would have complained about that.
But we did need an explanation for why he wasn't helping, why he was gone.
You could just say, you know what? I was in a funk. Ray gave me an inspiring speech in 30 seconds, and I am back in the game.
Okay, but you're not saying people would have complained. Why is he in a funk? Why wouldn't he? Why does he need a woman to come and give him a pep talk? Come on, we would have made that argument.
If Luke Skywalker had gone to that final scene where he faded away into the Force,
Yeah,
and instead of fading away into the Force, had just wrecked that line of AT-ATs.
Yep.
it would have been pretty cool.
I was gonna say I would have been ready to run through a freaking wall.
4th time.
I got it. I pulled it back.
For crying out loud! Have you seen that movie? It's Samuel Jackson and
Yeah.
nerdy. Is it like? It's like a taxi. He's like a taxi driver.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get him to stop swearing. And so he's a dentist. The other guy's a dentist, and Samuel Jackson's like a taxi driver or a cop or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, you got to stop swearing, man. He's like, I will say whatever I want. It's like, yeah, but the movie was like PG-13, so they could only say it like one time. And he's like, look, whenever I start, the nerdy guy's like, whenever I start to swear, I just change it to for crying out loud. Right? And then he swears in front of his kids. He's like, oh, for crying out loud. And it's just like the funniest thing seeing Samuel L. Jackson not swear. Like, what's that movie called? Someone find me the title of that movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know that movie. What movie are you talking about? I saw a clip earlier from that movie. Let me find it. I think I put it on bookmarks. Let me find it.
It's me. It's me. I'm the toxic one. Yes. Of course. I don't know. Look, I know. I fully admit that there are problems with The Last Jedi, but I think J.J. Abrams is more to blame. So.
Okay, don't get me wrong. J.J. Abrams is the worst thing that happened to Hollywood.
Yep.
With the exception of maybe his wife. But these are both terrible people. Do not ask me to choose between Hitler and Stalin.
Well, Stalin was a better writer, I think. Okay?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not finding it here.
David, you also sent me this one. I feel like it's Levy. It's is the other guy. He looks like the guy from Schitt's Creek.
The man.
The father, not the other,
Man.
not the
That's
son.
it. That's it.
It's the man.
Yeah.
Watch the man. It's hilarious.
Eugene Levy. Yeah.
Is it Levy?
Yeah, Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Yeah.
Yes. That's it. Oh,
I
my
was
God.
right. It's a very funny movie.
Really good.
David,
movie.
you sent me this one, and it's not loading because I have ad blockers up. But it's
No, yeah.
I rewatched. I'm assuming The Marvels was their biggest
Yes.
bomb, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why it didn't succeed because it was garbage.
Yep, I didn't read the article either. It's just
Oh, I don't want to read it. But I read the headlines, and it's funny. Look, so the Marvels broke negative box office records for the MCU because it was terrible, right? I think the Marvels is one of the MCU's best movies.
Who wrote this?
I don't know, some Leslie Headland sycophant probably. I'm very sad that we'll never get a 3 or the Marvels 2. Oh, okay. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want to read this. Stop sending me junk like this.
Maybe
Here.
the part that cracks me up about this movie is I see people talk about this like, oh, well, it wasn't that woke. And my response to that is always, 1, I don't believe you. 2, let's pretend for a moment that there's no woke dialogue in it.
Black girl magic. Sure.
I was going to say, you're still asking me to go see a movie that is basically parading 3 woke mascots around.
And cats.
And cats.
Yep.
And I even saw something today that cracked me up, and people are talking about, oh, well, it's really unfair that Furiosa bombed. Why did Furiosa bomb? And the comment was like, well, after the first 47 hate letters you sent me, I stopped opening them. How was I supposed to know that the 67th one you sent me wasn't going to be a hate letter? Like,
That's a good point.
No, that's exactly. Furiosa was good. I loved it. And I totally understand why no one watched it. Because feminism has ruined these movies.
Yeah.
And everyone assumed that it was going to be another garbage movie. I kind of expected it to be. I went into the movie thinking I was going to lambast it on this show. And it turns out it was amazing. So, yeah.
It's amazing. It's not even mid. Like it's
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
okay.
Did you watch it?
Furiosa?
I have not. No.
Okay, here. Sorry, we got.
I didn't open the 67th hate letter.
Here,
Did you do a video on this?
No, but I got to do the here. Since David sent me a bad take, I got.
Screen rants. Bad takes.
There we go. I have the stinger. Might as well use it. I loved Furiosa. I thought it was fantastic. And the only reason I wasn't going to watch it, but the only reason was, well, I mean, the director hasn't done anything stupid yet, right? Like I loved Fury Road, and I've liked every George Miller.
George Miller.
I wanted to say Ezra Miller. I'm like, no, that's wrong.
Wrong Miller.
No, I felt like I owed it to him. I was like he's got a good track record. It might be woke, and I'll be pissed off if it is, but I'm like, I feel like I owe it to him, and I watched it, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Okay. I might give it a shot. Mark Clark watched Top Gun Maverick. It's incredible.
I don't know. He's got a stick up his butt about Top Gun Maverick he's probably scared of the Scientology in it.
There's Scientology?
No. It's Tom Cruise though.
Yeah.
Imagine if Tom Cruise put Scientology in all of his movies, just like no one would like, but he doesn't, and that's why everyone likes him, despite him being a crazy person, is because he doesn't force it down your throats. Okay, Be more like Tom. Well, don't be like Tom Cruise, but be a little bit like Tom Cruise. You get what I mean?
Unfortunately, I think we're all taller than 5'3", so we're gonna have a hard time.
Anyway, sorry I promised you a spirited debate, but you can come back next week if you want to complain more.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe. You know what? Maybe. Fiance may be sick of me after I'm home this week. I'm not traveling for work, so she might be like, "Isn't there a football game on, or something you can go watch?"
If I watch all of the Acolyte, you'll watch Maverick. Okay, deal. I'm doing it.
I will say, it's really great not watching the Acolyte on Disney Plus, because I can watch it in 2 times speed and waste less of my time.
I did the very same thing.
Aren't you worried about missing some of the highly nuanced dialogue?
Oh, yes. It tears me apart.
There was one time where the Green Lady talked, and I had it on 2 speed, and I thought that I was just my ears that was not working properly, or maybe I didn't understand the accents. No, it's just that she speaks like
No, no, yeah.
you don't understand what she's saying.
So bad.
A lot of the dialogue is hard to understand. The spiky lady, it's really
Yeah.
hard to understand her lines. Leslie Headland's wife, it's really hard to understand why she exists. And even the what's the mother witch lady? Some of you can hear what she's saying, but some of her delivery is like, you really didn't want to give that like another take. It's like the worst part is when she's like giving her speech at it was a miracle, and you're like, you sound special ed. Like, it's like, I don't just try it one more time, please.
Real talk. Leslie Headland's wife. She definitely tried to bring that woman to Harvey Weinstein, and Harvey Weinstein went, absolutely not. Like, that's how they met, right?
Yeah. Who was it? Which comedian was it that said never mind, I won't say.
Please tell me you've seen the Harvey Weinstein A Few Good Men.
No.
You need me on that wall to prevent ugly actresses taking over Hollywood.
Oh no. Oh no. You can't handle the youth.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
I've never watched all of A Few Good Men, and I need to do that.
Yeah, that's one.
It's incredible.
I know. I've watched the scene from it like 100 times, and I've never owned the movie, and I should just bite the bullet and like buy it from Amazon or something.
It's another Tom Cruise banger.
He's got some good ones. I recently watched My Cousin Vinny. I forget. And because we didn't have like TV growing up until when did we finally have it for a couple of years? It was like when I was like 14 or 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we just watched like old VHSs. So if we didn't have it, and if Blockbuster didn't have it, we weren't going to rent it. And of course, it was rated R. Our parents weren't going to let us rent it. So I'm trying to catch up on a lot of like classics I've never seen before. My Cousin Vinny is fantastic. It's such a good movie. It's so funny. It's a Ralph Macchio, right? No, not no. Who's the kid in it?
You got me. I do not have this.
Who's the it's Ralph Macchio, the kid.
The kid is Ralph Macchio in that?
Dude, he's so good in it.
Huh.
Wow.
The cousin, okay, the cousin of Vinny is Ralph Macchio. It's one, and it's Marissa Tomei before she was a hot Spider-Man aunt.
I do remember her, and
she's great.
She's fucking dime.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
Joe Pesci's just hilarious in it. So
Okay, she's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch A Few Good Men. Anyway, next week we'll finally talk about House of the Dragon. We'll talk about how boring Blood and Cheese was, and
You probably. I'm gonna go out and watch this, and it's gonna be the best episode of television I've ever seen in my life.
As soon as we get off the show, I'm gonna start watching.
If it's, you might have to reconsider that engagement. Okay.
No, actually, no, for real. Like when episode 9 of season 1 of House of the Dragon dropped, and that was the bad one.
Yeah, she's like, "I told you so. I told you so."
No, actually, it was even worse. She was so mad. Her fucking swearing up and down about how women should not be allowed to produce and write TV shows.
It was bad. It was that episode. It was such a bad choice.
That's the one with the dragon.
Yeah, it was the Game of Thrones 9/11.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like to do that and then not execute on it, and it was the equivalent of me watching the Arrow season 1 and having the main character just constantly mow down these nameless minions who are working for a corporation just trying to make a quick buck. And he's murdering them left and right. And then he gets to the top of the corporation, to the bad guy who's actually doing the evil. And he says, I'm going to give you one more chance. He does. He pulls a, he pulls a Mel Gibson and, I'll give you one more chance. You've heard the phone call, right?
I don't remember an anti-Semitic rant. And
no, that was the one to his wife. That was that was the one when he was talking to his wife.
If Oliver Queen went on an anti-Semitic rant in Arrow season 1.
Yeah, no, like I was like, this show's kind of good. And then season 1 ended and I was like, this is just the dumbest writing I've ever seen. I completely checked out of the Arrowverse. But that was what they did in House of the Dragon. It was so stupid. Killed all of those people, completely turned all of Westeros against Team Black, or should have. It's not going to have any bearing in season 2 because they're going to forget about it. And then didn't finish the job and kill off the people in charge with a dragon in their face and didn't do it, didn't commit. Yeah.
You clearly didn't watch episode 10. She said it wasn't her war to finish.
Oh,
but she started it. It was her war to start.
Yep.
Typical women can't finish the job. I'll give you one more chance.
I actually want to go back and watch Arrow season 1 because I vaguely remember that show being like vaguely watchable.
It was until just the finale. It was just like, this is just dumb. Why is he letting all the bad people go and killing the innocent people?
Compared to the rest of the crap that's coming out these days, it makes CW shows look fan-friggin-tastic.
They're called Team Green and Team Black because one of them wears green and the other wears black. That's it. Really, it's because of the scene in season 2, which I just rewatched. It's when Alicent Hightower walks in on the big festivities, and instead of boasting the typical Targaryen colors, she comes in a bright green dress in open defiance of her husband and the king. And from that day forward, everyone was talking about her dress and how green it was, and it just became the colloquial term for the two teams in the Dance of the Dragons, Team Green and Team Black. So
to go a step further, Alicent Hightower is from
it's her house colors as well.
Yes, and when the Hightowers go to war, they have a green flame at the top of the high tower so that everybody knows they're going to war.
Yeah, that's the line from the TV show. Like, that's the color that they wear to tell everyone know that this means war. So it was a political statement, wearing her house colors, saying, "Hey, I'm fighting you on this."
Yep.
Yeah.
Going back to the Arrowverse for some reason, what was it like watching a TV show where there was a traditional male lead and a traditional female lead? Like, it's been so long, I actually don't remember what it was like to see like two 9 of 10s interact with each other. Like,
and that's why I liked the show, but I just couldn't stand the dumb choices at the very end, and so I stopped watching it. But it's compared to what we're getting now, it's probably very watchable. I could probably get past like the first 3 seasons before I got tired of it again.
Yeah.
I think that's about where I stopped. It was season 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. You remember when our complaints used to be so much smaller? Like, I sound petty now. Yeah. You're like, oh man, this one teeny thing just got me. I just got too tired of the show, but it's probably great, you know.
See, I remember I watched season 1.
Oh, for the days when those were our complaints.
Right. I watched season 1. I really didn't like season 2. And then I came back from I came back to college after like the summer or whatever, and one of my friends watched it and was like, "Oh, season 3 is really, really good." And I turned it on, and I realized I should never listen to this friend about television ever again. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have had that before, where a friend recommends something and then you watch it and you're like,
Yep.
"You're an idiot." Like, I don't know why I'm friends with you.
Yeah, I had some friends tell me that Rise of Skywalker was good.
I had some friends unironically like the Rings of Power, and I was like, okay,
Okay, that's a lot more recent, man.
I know, right?
That's
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah. That's what I said.
Okay.
Again, I like if truth serum was real, I would.
It would be
Hey.
nice. It would be nice to sit these people down and be like,
Yeah.
okay, but what do you really feel? Like because I kind of believe that some of these people believe it about them, that they actually like the show, right?
Well,
Because they're like, oh, I'm just so happy to see someone of my skin color finally on screen because I've been racist my whole life and I can't relate to anyone, you know. I believe some people are like that, but a lot of people are just gaslighting themselves into. I don't know. It's like mass psychosis, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I asked them what they liked about the show, and the only thing they could point out was, oh, it looked great. It was just great being able to visit Middle Earth again. I'm like, okay, yeah, the sets looked nice, but that's it.
Look, yeah, but okay. Here's the thing. I when I was a kid, I went on a trip to Lake Powell, and it was probably my favorite place on Earth. We found this little alcove. We were supposed to go canoeing up the river. We dropped in New Mexico, and we were supposed to canoe up the river for a week. But we had a kid from Washington D.C. who just moved to New Mexico and didn't know that you have to drink water here. And so on the first day, he got heat stroke. I love you, Houston. You're amazing. Okay, but. Got heat stroke on day 1, and so we had to stop and camp. And you know, the people who dropped us off had already left, and so we had to get the satellite phone and call in the trip short. But we had to stay there for like 4 days, and so we didn't have to do any canoeing, which was kind of great. I wanted to do it, but it was also fun because the campsite that we found, it was like this oasis. It was like this little alcove, and you had cliffs you could jump off of, and it was awesome. And we spent 4 days there, and then when the help arrived, we canoed back to where we dropped in on the 4th day, and we left. And it was one of my best memories. Like, it was so much fun. And 2 years ago, we planned a family trip to go to Lake Powell. And Lake Powell sucks now.
Yep.
Oh no!
Because California stole it.
Oh
Yep.
no!
Yeah,
They needed water, and so we gave it to them for some reason. And Lake Powell is about half the height that it's supposed to be. And when we dropped in on the other side, and you have to walk, when you park your cars, you have to walk a mile to get to the beach. Down a cliff of sand. It was hell.
Miserable experience.
Our kids were miserable. We spent more time driving in the car to the city to get popsicles and ice than we did camping at Lake Powell because it was so hot. It was the worst experience of my life. And so I do not understand the people. Oh, it was just it was just so nice to visit Lake Powell again. It was so nice to visit Middle Earth again. Yeah, but it was garbage.
Yeah, if the experience sucked,
And I hated it.
yeah,
Why did you destroy my favorite thing?
exactly. That's where I'm coming from. Middle Earth was a nice place until they crapped on it, right?
Until we tried to help California.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, California, I don't know what the crap they're doing.
It's crazy.
Stealing power from Utah and other states. Yet they have their own rivers that
Shutting down their own power plants. Yeah.
They can't touch it because, Mexico needs that water. They're not doing anything. It's just flowing right back into the ocean. So stupid.
Yeah, they didn't keep any of the water either. Like, it was after they drained Lake Powell, they came out with a whole bunch of articles. Oh, our lakes are so slow. You're like, well, what happened to all the water we gave you? So stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's not for you.
more of this next week, but hopefully we'll have something good to talk about unless Lady Balefire is not insane. There's one more episode of Doctor Who until Christmas, and that's all I've committed to. Maybe I'll keep going. I don't know. The algorithm is fickle, and
Are they doing an actual Christmas episode?
I don't know if my Doctor Who. Yeah, they are. If my Doctor Who
episode.
videos keep getting views, I'll keep watching it. But I only committed to this season, and we have 5 more episodes of The Acolyte, but we'll have some House of the Dragon to wash it down with every week, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
So I'm actually only through one episode or half a season of Tennant in Who. I really like Eccleston.
Eccleston was phenomenal.
If I go directly from Eccleston to Gatwa,
Oh no!
Don't.
like, am I gonna have a stroke?
Yeah.
You might, yeah.
From what I understand, Gatwa cries in every episode.
Yes, every episode he's cried.
That is so disgusting.
How many seasons of the Vampire Diaries did David watch? I don't know. 0. Yes, they're doing a Christmas episode. Yes, and it's when the white companion is going to be replaced by a diversity hire.
Well, the last couple of years they haven't even done that. They've done a holiday special on New Year's or something, some crap like that.
It's coming out on Christmas.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, at least that's a somewhat return to the norm. Or not?
They did it. They just barely did a Christmas special last Christmas too.
Really?
The Ruby Church on Ruby Road.
Huh.
It was the Goblin King musical.
Yeah.
Reform must be doing really well in their elections if the lefties are letting them do Christmas things again.
Yeah.
Though in fairness, if a whole bunch of British folks gathered around the Christmas tree, turn on Doctor Who, and see a gay black Nigerian as the Doctor.
In this last episode, Chudy, not Dr. Pooh, apparently mentioned he had a long storied affair with Houdini. So,
All right.
Sure, why not? Fuck it, shoot.
December 25th. Yeah, Joy to the World. Oh, and it's another Stephen Moffat episode. Great.
Is this one of those things that was Stephen Moffat a well-respected writer?
He was good.
Was
Yeah.
he? Okay.
Well, that's the thing.
The best ones.
Russell T Davies is the showrunner of what you're currently watching, and he went through Tenet. So he had 4 seasons as showrunner. During those seasons, Stephen Moffat frequently wrote episodes. I think he wrote 8, maybe 10.
Yeah.
And they're the best episodes.
Consistently the best episodes.
Stephen Moffat is amazing at writing a good episode. He became the showrunner after Russell T Davies, and he's not as good of a showrunner. He's much better at writing a contained story than he was at running a show. It wasn't bad. The 3 seasons with not David Tennant, with
Stephen Moffat.
not Stephen Moffat.
Russell
Sorry.
Davies?
No, the Doctor. House of the Dragon.
Matt Smith.
Oh, Matt
Matt Smith.
Right.
Yeah, the first the seasons that he directed with Matt Smith were really good.
Yeah.
As showrunner, and he wrote a couple episodes too, and those were really good. And then with old guy, I'm just really struggling with names right now.
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi.
Yep.
It's late, okay?
Yep.
With Peter Capaldi gave a great performance, and Stephen Moffat's showrunning, it kind of felt like he just stopped caring. It slowly got worse and worse. With every season, got consecutively worse. He stopped they stopped caring about established canon. It never got horrible, but it progressively got worse and worse. And then it was passed to Chibnall with Jodie Whittaker, and everything went out the window.
Yep.
So it was already on the decline. But even that, like, it ended with a bang. Like the finale,
Peter Capaldi's
twice upon a time. Like Peter Capaldi's send off is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, really
good. The special right before that, The Husbands of River Song. Holy crap!
That one's great too.
That one's fantastic.
But I don't know how much of it is Stephen Moffat's fault. If it was him struggling, just not caring as much about continuity, or if it was diversity hires coming in and writing the alternative episodes that were garbage. I don't know how much power Stephen Moffat had. Like, and it wasn't his choice to replace the Doctor with Jodie Whittaker. So, like, you still have studio. It could have been Stephen Moffat's fault that the show got worse and worse, but I would tend to think my suspicions lie that it was the studio forcing in more and more diversity that made the quality drop, and Stephen Moffat was just kind of like, whatever, I'm doing the best I can. And the episodes that he writes are still really, really good. So then he stopped writing when Chibnall took over. Chibnall wrote most of the episodes. I'm scrolling through it right now. Like, it was like typically the showrunner would write like 2 or 3, right? And I'm looking at the episodes now. Chibnall is on as the writer, he's the writer of every single episode except maybe 4. And even when it's a different name, it's him and Chibnall. He's on. He's written every single episode. And then Russell T Davies returned. The show was canceled.
Yeah,
completely canceled. They only brought it back when Russell T Davies said, "Sure, I'll come back and I'll be the showrunner again." Yeah. They're like, "Okay, we trust you." And he did the 3 specials, and then the 4 specials. The 3 specials with David Tennant coming back for some reason, and then the Church on Ruby Road, which is the Christmas special with Ncuti Gatwa in the lead for the first time. But he appeared in the episode before that with the giggle. And Russell T Davies has written every episode this season except for Rogue, the Bridgerton one, and episode 3, Boom, which he begged Stephen Moffat to come back and write for him. It's the only good episode of the season.
Gotcha.
It's the only episode that actually feels like Doctor Who. It's still not great because there is wokeness in it, but like even when, like, I'm Stephen Moffat is a lefty.
Yeah.
But when he writes,
he's still a good writer.
His goal is to write, and the lefty stuff just comes out, And so even like, right, I enjoy a lot of authors, right? My favorite book is, well, not my favorite book, but one of my favorite books is Johnny Got His Gun, written by an infamous communist. Okay. I like things that, whatever, right? So even when he's trying to piss you off, Stephen Moffat is still a good writer. So the Christmas special might actually be good too. But anyway, that took way too long to explain. Sorry.
No, well good.
They did a Bridgerton episode, okay?
I heard.
Stupid.
I genuinely I need somebody to just intersperse like Gatwa and Eccleston clips, because I feel like one of the things I liked the most about Eccleston and compared to Tennant is spastic, and it drives me nuts And I think there's something to be said for a guy who's seen everything in the universe to not be a freaking
To be a little
spaz all
broody,
the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not overreact to everything. Like, to make a guy who's seen everything in the universe ever cry should be impossible. Like,
Nearly, yeah. There are moments when the previous doctors get emotional, but it's not.
I don't know if they've ever cried.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, there's a little bit of crying with when Tennant leaves.
Yes,
Like he's like, I don't want to go, right?
yes, you're right.
But yeah, even when he gets emotional, like probably the best scene is with Matt Smith, the "Take It All," right?
Yeah,
Which you haven't gotten to yet, but it's when he's facing that like planet god. He's like, "You feed off of stories, feed off of take it all," and it's like you're like, "Oh, it's so good," but he's not crying.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
wonderful.
But there are moments of tenderness, and you're right that I think both Tennant and Capaldi's send-offs, he gets a little bit emotional,
okay,
a little bit, but
I was
not
assuming
every single episode.
Capaldi being older isn't as spastic goofy.
No.
No, Capaldi gave a really good performance.
Capaldi was actually, a lot of people criticized him because he was very grumpy. He was a very
I liked
grumpy
it.
doctor.
It worked.
It worked. It was really good.
Man, I might have to skip to that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because
Look, you got to watch Matt Smith though, and you might be hesitant because like the first episode that Matt Smith is in, it doesn't feel like he's trying to copy the energy of David Tennant. He's clearly got his own thing going on, but it is a little bit spastic.
Yeah.
But it's intentional. Like it's there for a reason, and he starts off really jovial and like, oh, this is just going to be another Tennant, and then very quickly changes. Like, oh no, like this is a guy who's hiding his pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Smith's performance is
For sure.
it is incredible. He's my favorite doctor, and everyone says, well, most normies will say that
Tennant is their favorite.
Tennant is their favorite, and they're wrong.
Or they're
It's
old school.
absolutely Matt Smith.
Tom Baker.
Right.
Yeah. To me, Tennant and Matt Smith are both tied because I like them both for different reasons.
But I like Eccleston better than Tennant too.
Okay. So I guess my
Tennant will grow on you. He does it's always a little bit spastic, but he's got some really good heart moments too.
okay, I got to the one where he faces off against the devil.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
like it was all right. It wasn't terrible. But
The Satan pit.
yeah, but it certainly wasn't there's another name for me in the Dalek language. They call me the oncoming storm. Like, and I can't imagine Tennant in all his goofiness, even after having seen him in Jessica Jones, being able to deliver.
Yeah. Did you like the girl in the fireplace?
Which one was that?
That's the one with those clock boys, and
Clockwork Man and
the one of the hottest women of my childhood, the Madame de Pompadour.
What is this? I gotta look this
That
up.
was episode 4 of season 2. That one was one of my favorites, but
that episode was one that I was going to relate to Chudigatwa's thing because in the past
it was kind of a Bridgerton episode, but it was good.
That too, but also in the past when they've explored the Doctor's sexuality or whatever, it's always just referenced in the background. Like in that one, he's like, "I just snogged Madame de Pompadour," But in this, in this new one, they have to just shove it down your throats, and it's all about exploring his sexuality.
Let's see, what's a really good?
See, that one reminded me a little bit of the one where they watch Earth get destroyed.
Oh yeah,
And the
Yeah,
black
the
chick
end of the world. So that's episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and the black chick from Justified, like, kind of, I hate when a character like tells you who another character is, but when the tree lady, who's the black chick
Yeah.
from Justified, kind of tells you like, oh, he's kind of jokey and funny because after you've lived forever, um, you survive by having a little bit of jokey and funniness in you
Right.
if you didn't have that in you, you would have self-deleted a long time ago. And you have to be able to find some of the joy in life if you're going to live that long. Like,
Right.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. The end of the world's a good episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to talk about more Doctor Who if you're watching through it right now.
I turn it on every once in a while. It's another show that,
Yeah.
anyway.
I just rewatched most of it in the last 2 years with my son. So we're on Peter Capaldi right now.
Okay.
We haven't watched in months though. We need to get back into it.
See, I think I need to push to Capaldi. But it sounds like Matt Smith might be worth stopping by.
Dude, you got to. Matt Smith's wonderful. So,
See, but there are some storylines that are started in Tennant's run that
yeah, you can't skip
Okay.
Tenet.
yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's so British.
It
I
is.
know.
Yeah.
It's very British.
I forget what the course of the comment was, but somebody made the comment. This new mascot looks like one of the bad guys from Doctor Who. One of the ones that could only happen in America or only happen in Britain, because if it happened in America, the general population would have gunned down whatever monster it was at about their day.
You can probably skip the next episode though.
Which one is
If you just watch the Satan Pit, the one with the devil, the next one is
Love
Love and Monsters.
Oh, okay.
Probably the worst episode of Doctor Who. Okay.
Oh no!
Yeah, before the new woke Who, it's hands down the worst episode of Doctor Who.
It's
So,
it's the one with Moaning Myrtle in it.
yeah.
The actress.
Oh no! I did see that one.
It's bad. It's really bad.
I feel like there were worse episodes than that I watched.
No. I don't know. What are the ones with Christopher Eccleston, the Slitheen's or whatever? I never. Really liked those.
I like the Slitheen's. Come on, they're so great. The Slitheen.
A good concept. I just don't like all the
Boomtown. That's the one.
happens.
I was gonna say.
I just love they're just fatties,
Yeah.
Because
They're
they're in skin suits.
wearing little skin zipper suits. But they just played it off as a joke with all the fart jokes.
Mark, you can't skip the Waters of Mars. That's probably
Oh yes.
that's probably
Well, that's
Tennant's
one of
best
the
episode.
That's one of the last Tenet episodes.
well, and Blink is probably the best episode ever,
True.
and that's
Wait,
it's Stephen Moffat.
You guys are telling me that Love and Monsters is considered notably worse than The Idiot's Lantern?
Which one was that?
No, Idiot's Lantern was the one with Shakespeare, right?
No, it's the one with Queen Elizabeth II coronation and the TV lady.
Oh, that was
A
fine.
little silly.
God, that annoyed the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly, but Love and Monsters was so bad.
No, which one? Which one's the? The
Because the
Shakespeare
title-
Code. The Shakespeare Code's great. They do one with Shakespeare, and they quote. They have to use. They have to do everything in like iambic pentameter to beat the bad guys. They have to rhyme, and so they quote J.K. Rowling, and it's so great. And then they had to apologize for it like years later. Oh, so we didn't realize she was a bigot. Like,
See, that's funny because I watched Deadwood, and they talk like that all the time. It's awesome.
There's
All
some.
right, well, I gotta get going. This guy's.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're basically done with season 2. There's some really good episodes in season 3. Like Blink is peak Doctor Who. It's the best one ever written. You can skip 40. You can skip 42. That one was written by Chris Chibnall, and it's terrible. But season 3 is great.
Yeah.
And then you get the sound of drums. The finale is wonderful.
Oh yes.
You finally figure out
Just stick with it. Stick with it, Alex.
What the tapping is.
Oh yes.
Alrighty. Cool.
That's good.
Well, sounds like we're getting ready to call it.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking Star Wars. And anything to plug?
Not at the moment. I'm tired. I need to watch Hot D before I go to bed.
Hot D. Okay, let's do that.
Let's see, fellas.
It's Tom Baker. Which one did I say? Did I say the wrong doctor about Tom Baker?
You were saying your favorite doctor, and he said it's Tom Baker.
That's because I haven't watched Tom Baker. I need to.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying it's 2 different shows, man. You got it's 3 different shows. There's Doctor Who, there's New Who, and then there's New Pooh. Okay. No, this is New Who. They're so it's Doctor Who, reboot Doctor Who, and New Who.
Gotcha. All right.
Anyway, bye.
Mark Clark, thanks for covering my swearing tab.
We covered your first 2.
I owe you 3 more.
All right. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. It'll be fun. Bye.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your